My name is Kelly Stair, freshman English teacher at Washington High School, and I'm going to talk about how using game mechanics and mastery learning, I gamify my freshman English classes. Educational gamification is using game mechanics and game design to motivate and engage learners. So how does that work? Well, use game mechanics. Experience points, XP, level ups, game-winning goals, achievements, badges, leaderboards, having a choice of quests that you get to do, and having student-directed pacing. All of this works together to motivate and engage students. In addition, I use a system called mastery grading, and this is basically focusing on mastering content through using multiple opportunities to grasp, practice, and then finally master the content. So what does that look like in my freshman English class? I use a software called Resly.com that was developed by Boise State University. Using this software, I create quests that students need to master in order to complete the game. Students complete the quests, and then once they get approved, they earn experience points. Those experience points go towards leveling up every week, and eventually, at the end of the semester, they have enough points that they are a game winner. So here's a model of the level up chart and what that looks like. As you can see, if you look at week 1, earning a C in the class is about 200 points a week. A B is 250, an A is 300, and then we have stretch goals. The first stretch goal is called an Uber winner, and the second stretch goal, the final stretch goal, is called legendary winner. If you can see down here, the final week 15 grades, you get 200 points every week. That's going to equal 3,000 points to get a C, 3,750 to get a B, 4,500 to get an A. And then you have those two stretch goals over here at 5,300 and 6,000. The two really important grades are right here. The first one's at the midterm. The midterm grades go in October 12th. On October 12th, I'll take a look at students' experience points. If they have 1,400 at least, they get a C on their midterm report, which is 75%. If they have 1,750, they'll get a B at 85%. If they have 2,100, they'll get an A at 95%. And then Uber and Legendary, anything over 2,450, will get them 100% on their midterm grades. The same thing is true of this final grade at week 15. That is going to happen December 18th. So whatever experience points they have December 18th, that's going to determine their final grade. So 3,000 for a C, 3,750 for a B, 4,500 for an A, 5,300 for an Uber win, and then 6,000 points for legendary status. It's important to know that for Washington High School, the grading is done 40% for the midterm grade, and then 40% for the final grade, plus 20% for the final exam. And those are added together to give you your 100% course grade. For the final grade, there's one other requirement. 2 badges must be done in order to get this final grade. The first one is for Unit 1, and the second one is for Unit 2. There are 3 units in the first semester, and so there is some time between the end of Unit 2 and the final grade to get those badges done. Why are those badges required? Well, because students get a choice of quests that they can do to earn their experience points, there needs to be some consistency in things that they have to get done. And so the badges are quests that they need to do in order to earn their grade. So, how does this mastery grading actually work? In Resly, there are a bunch of quests, and students submit those quests for approval. If a student has met the criteria for that quest, the quest is approved by me and they get their points. If the student exceeds the criteria, they've got some incredible writing, or they have 100% on a vocab quiz, then they'll get a bonus award that awards them extra experience points. If the student doesn't meet the criteria for a particular quest, the quest gets returned. I make sure I put comments on there so that students can actually master the material for the quest. I'll say you need to do this and this and this and then your quest will be approved. Students fix whatever it is that they need to fix, and they send it back. As soon as a student meets the criteria for that quest, the quest will be approved. There are no penalties for returned quests. To that end, there are no due dates except for those final marking periods, the midterm and the final date. Those are the only two dates that are absolute. Everything else, if a request is returned, you have as long as you need to get that quest fixed and turned back in for full points. That being said, there are some quests that have a time limit. A reflection on something that we do in class will have a deadline that you have to have it done. Otherwise, the quest goes away and it's no longer an option. You don't lose any points for not doing that. You only ever gain points. But those points just won't be available for you after the timeout. The whole purpose of mastery grading is to set good criteria for students to work towards, to reward them for mastering those criteria, and to give them multiple opportunities in order to do that. Mastery grading doesn't penalize you for not getting it right the first time. So here are some of the benefits of using game mechanics and mastery grading in an English class. Student engagement goes way up. Sometimes that's the game mechanics, like the experience points and the level ups, having a game-winning goal to reach towards. Sometimes it's the competition of seeing where you are on the leaderboard or seeing how far you've come. And other times it really is just the sense that everything that you do pushes you closer towards your goal. Bit by bit, you are reaching towards a goal, and everything that you do helps you get there. Not only does that help with engagement, but it helps with motivation. When you know that everything that you do in class is helping you move closer and closer to that goal, it's much easier for students to stay motivated. Competition, both with yourself and with others, is another key benefit. It's a positive kind of competition and a lot of fun to see where you are on the leaderboard compared to other people. There are no zeros in the class. One of the great things about mastery grading is that you don't lose points, ever. You only ever increase them, which means that if you have a quest and it's not quite up to the standard of the criteria that I've set, I'll let you have as many shots as you need to get you where you need to go. No zeros to bring your grades down. The experience points only go up. This means that students really do control their grades. You get to decide what grade you're shooting for. You get to pace yourself and make sure that you're getting as many points as you need every week in order to get the grade that you want. Knowing exactly what experience points you need in order to get the grade you want. Say you want an A. You know exactly how many, 4,500 experience points, and you're working towards it. I've broken it down into weekly goals so you can set yourself goals. Some weeks you might have more experience points than you need, and some weeks you might fall a little behind your goal. But you have the control as a student to set and to accomplish every goal that you have. I've seen amazing things using gamification the last 3 years in my teaching experience, and I'm really excited to use these at Washington High School. Thank you.